Well, Pennsylvania is usually a reliable Democratic state, but Donald Trump's popularity among working-class whites may put the state in play. Democrats have won every presidential race in Pennsylvania since 1992. John Hendren joins us live now from Newtown in Pennsylvania. And obviously, battleground states, many of them. What makes this one so different, John?
Well, it's got 20 electoral votes, Jane, and it's a battleground state for certain, but where I am right now is Bucks County. That's a battleground county within the battleground state. There are a fair number of Trump supporters. This is a fairly wealthy area. You see a lot of Maseratis, Porsches, Land Rovers pulling in here. It's a fairly affluent area, and you get a lot of support for the Republican candidate here, but there's also a fair amount of support for the Democrats. So what I did is I brought a Republican supporter, a Trump supporter here, and this is Jim Worthington. He owns a large fitness center. I'd like to call you a small businessman, but that's the biggest gym I've ever seen. And let me just ask you a little bit about the support for Trump here and your own support for him. For instance, you hosted an event and Donald Trump came. What happened and why do you decide you support him?
Well, I hosted an event 2 weeks ago on a Friday night, and I had 4,000 people in my field house and another 4,000 people outside. And the reason I hosted it, I was elected the delegate for the Republican convention of the 8th Congressional District, which we happen to be in. And even though my obligation ended when I voted for him in July at the National Convention, I felt an obligation to continue that because many of the people in Bucks County felt that possibly the GOP wasn't going to work as hard as it needed to support him to get him elected. So they kind of drafted me to be their spokesperson, and I formed the group People for Trump, and 400 people came on board as my volunteers. We worked through the summer till the Trump Victory Team opened up their office in September. We then placed them with the Trump Victory Team, and now we're working together to try to get Donald Trump elected president.
And you support him as a businessman?
I support him as an agent of change. I believe government is broken mainly for the middle class and less fortunate. I believe that that's the #1 priority to make America great again. It's not about reducing my taxes, I do fine. It's more about what would help America in general. And I think that the middle class and the less fortunate have been sold a bill of goods by both parties forever. And I think he's a man that would go and try to change America for the better. He realizes they're the people that need the help the most.
Now, help me explain to people how popular Trump is in this area. You're hosting a victory party for Trump tonight. You were going to invite 100 people. What happened?
Well, we had reached out to our group of people, volunteers, which was about 400 people. And as of yesterday afternoon, we had 100 people that had responded. And a half an hour ago, I was told that we have over 1,000 people coming to the Trump victory party to watch the results come in and then hopefully celebrate the victory tonight. So it just went viral. And people that were volunteers told their friends, their families, and before you know it, we're well over 1,000 people. So there's very, very hardcore support. Those people are patriots. They love America. They love the change that Donald Trump's going to bring. And they want to see America be great again.
Now, how important is Bucks County in this election, and how important is Pennsylvania? You explained this to me earlier.
Well, let me tell you this. Bucks County is important because I know internationally I've had 5 visits in the last week, all the way from New Delhi, India, to Canada, Germany. And the reality is they're telling me, and I think what you see in the media is that whoever wins Bucks County will win Pennsylvania. And if it happens to be Donald Trump, he will win the presidency. So that it can't get any more important than right here. We are at ground zero right here in Bucks County.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Jim Worthington.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Of the Newtown Athletic Club and a Trump supporter.
Thank you.
The enthusiasm here at the polls has been enormous, too. I talked to a poll worker who said in 12 years that he'd been coming here, he's never seen the kind of lines, the kind of enthusiasm that we've seen. And we walked through, I don't know if you can see behind me back there where those people are lining up. In the morning and in the evening, before and after the workday, hundreds of people are coming here. This morning, those lines went all the way out the door, wound around inside the building, and then went inside this school gymnasium. So there's a lot of enthusiasm. We expect voter turnout to be exceedingly high. There have been a couple of reports of problems with machines in a couple parts of the state. We'll give you more on that, but so far we're told those are not serious.
All right, we'll speak to you later. Thanks, John.